Hi kids, tinkering on the element again today. But before we get into that, have you ever been driving down the road and like look over and there's a wrench laying on the road beside you? You're at a stoplight or something, and so you jump out and grab it. You ever do that? I do that a lot. I've got a lot of tools I found that were just laying in the road. I found one yesterday. I know you think I'm messing with you, but I am not. I found this brand new 3-ton floor jack laying in the road. People zooming by it, so I pulled over and I grabbed it and I threw it in the back of the element. Let's see how good it works. So let's see if we can start trying to figure out what some of these front end noises are I'm dealing with. It doesn't sound bad, does it? Well, let's see what we got over here on the passenger side. You hear that? That's not good. So let's see if we can do something about that. So here's the thinking. If you didn't see my other little teaser video, this is a steering knuckle junkyard unit. It's got the spindle, the shield, came with a speed sensor which I took off. It's got the knuckle, the bearing, and the ball joint. The ball joint is wore out. I don't like it. And since I've got all this apart, I might as well put a new one in it. So I got a Moog. We're gonna put that in today. Snap ring, nuts, whatnot. Goody goody. So the first step in replacing the ball joint, this sloppy bastard here, is this snap ring. That's the first issue you're gonna encounter. And today I'm gonna show you how to get that off without snap ring pliers. I have snap ring pliers somewhere, I can't find them. But if you've got this tool, which I told you to buy a long time ago, and this tool, which frankly everybody should have, you're gonna get this off very easily. Specialty tools make things easier, but they're not necessary. And I think focus on specialty tools when it comes to auto repair puts a lot of people off of working on their own car because they think, oh, they don't have all these special tools and they're gonna spend more in tools than they would paying a mechanic to fix it. And a lot of times they're right. But if you buy these two tools, you can get this snap ring off. Watch. We're holding this side of the snap ring still. That allows us to hook this side and pull that right off. Boink. See how easy that is? The new ball joint comes with a new snap ring. There it is. We don't need to save this, but I'm gonna save it anyway till we're done. Now this thing that I'm showing you is a specialty tool. A specialty tool kit made for pressing ball joints out, universal bearings, stuff like that. The good news is you probably don't have to buy this. Any of the major chain auto parts stores will usually loan you this. So if, let's say the kit is $100, you leave them a $100 deposit, you borrow the tool, you bring it back, you get your $100 back. All this is a big C-clamp and a set of adapters that allow you to press this ball joint out of the knuckle. Little bit more, little bit more. If everything's right, this thing should be incredibly tight in here. And it had a snap ring, so boink, there it goes. You see it falling out? Hopefully my noggin's not in the way. There's the old ball joint. It's got a little play in it back and forth. Here's the new joint. One of the things you want to check for when you're installing this is whether or not your boot will clear the bore. If it won't, you need to pull the boot off and put it in there. This one seems to be just fine, so let's go with that. Then we reinstall it with the same kit. Goes on here, goes on there, you crank it down, you get the idea, right? It's not rocket science, folks. It's just not even tricky. Hunt around with these doodads until you pick one you like. I'm here to tell you, folks, any idiot can do this. I'm just the idiot to prove it. Push this down and clamp it on there. And there it is. And we take our pick and pull this around. Pull this open That'll give us enough room to work the snap ring on. See there? It's on. It's easy. You do not need to buy an expensive set of snap ring pliers. If you have them, great, use them. But if you don't sweat it. Save your money and go rent this bearing pull kit. Bucket time. These are 17 millimeter. Sucker's on there. Take our caliper and set it back there. Move is to get this nut off. Start by getting this cotter pin out of here. Another useful use for your this nut. My 18 millimeter seems to fit on it for some reason. Seems a bit weird. Mark it. And that's all in the actual joint, so wow, that's a lot of play. That mother out of there. Pickle fork time. The pickle fork is designed for pulling that out of there. I've had this since I was probably 14 years old when I was working on my 1970 Chevy Nova in my dad's driveway. We're gonna beat the crap out of it with this hammer. Okay, I'm not having any luck at all. Brake line loose. All my neighbors hate. With my desperation, I've taken the strut loose, the axle loose, got everything loose. The only thing holding the knuckle on now is the ball joint, which I cannot get to budge. Look at how much plays in this thing. So, what I'm going to do now in my final act is attempt to use the specialty tool we were talking about earlier to press all this crap apart. Will it work? I have no idea. Slow going. I think we might have got a little bit of progress, but it's not exactly where I wanted it. You see that? All my effort went into pushing the joint out of the knuckle, but I still got the bottom of the joint stuck in the control arm. Do this. I can get that on there. Well, I can continue to push, right? Why not? Let's try that. Hopefully we will have some joy here in a minute. Folks, these are only machines. We can't let them win. We must outsmart them, otherwise they become our overlords. Oh man, a lot of energy behind that right now. What a very weird problem to be having. Watch these YouTube videos where these guys come out and tap that with a ball peen hammer and it goes boing, comes apart. Mine appears to be well, that's some Yahtzee shit right there, folks. That came out in dramatic fashion. Look at how much slop's in that. That's gonna have to make some kind of improvement. I'm not gonna lie to you, folks. That was exciting. Look at this. That is where my horrible noise is coming from. Got my nut on the bottom with my cotter key through it. Let's see if we can wrestle this sucker together. All right, now we're getting somewhere. Let's get my gym workout today. Try to get this axle in, right, get a nut on it. And it won't fall out. There we go. Sputtering. Let's put the speed sensor back in. Up north, I'm told they kind of rust in where you can't get them out. brake caliper going on. I swapped the rotor over from the other steering knuckle. Wow, that was an adventure. A little more exciting than I was looking for today. But I do think there's some real value in this video because you got to see a different use for this gizmo. If you're having trouble getting your ball joint off your car, go down to AutoZone or probably O'Reilly's or any of those guys and rent one of these. Borrow one, whatever their particular program happens to be, and get that sucker off of there. Let me show you this. Let's go over some of this stuff. This is the ball joint that was in the junkyard steering knuckle, the one I got at the junkyard. And I was concerned because it had that much play in it. You see it? This is the one that was on my car that I was driving to the junkyard in to get the part. That's how much play it had. So I was worried about this and driving around on this. Test drive time. Urethra! I think we fixed it, folks. I think that was it. I've thought all along that this was a wheel bearing issue. I mean, I started off this project with some axle popping, and once I got that noise cleared up, the next loudest noise was that noise of the grindy bearing, which has been getting worse all winter. Boy, that ball joint was something else, wasn't it? But I think we got a really cool video out of the whole thing. So I know I'm a whole lot smarter now than I was when I started out today. Hope you learned something watching this video too. Till next time, this is Clint Searcy saying, stay tuned to Scavenger Type. See you next week.